Hey, welcome back. In this video, we will learn about the button element in HTML. Before moving forward, let's see an example of the button element. Okay, as you can see here, we are inside of the GitHub sign up page, and there we go. This is a button. This button is heavily customized and styled by using CSS, but we will create our own buttons inside of the HTML. Now, creating buttons is easy. We have two different methods to do so. One of them is to use the button element. Okay, so as you can see, the button element, and another one is to use the input element with the type of submit. Okay, we will see both of them. Okay, all right. So let's go to here. So we are having these two inputs here. So all right, so let's create a submit button. Okay, so now let's create a button. Okay, and here I can type like submit, or let's say register, something like that. Okay, hit save and go here. As you can see, there we go, there is our button. So this button currently doesn't do anything, and we will see in the upcoming videos like, hey, why this button doesn't do anything right now. Okay, but this is the button. All right, so we can create the button with this button element. Okay, so as you can see, the button HTML element is an interactive element activated by the user with a mouse, keyboard, finger, voice command, or other assistive technology. Once activated, then it performs an action. Basically, whenever we want to perform some sort of an action, something like submit the form, we can use the button, such as submitting a form or opening a dialog. Okay, so if you do not know what exactly is a dialog, basically the dialog is a pop-up. Basically, many of the times you visit a website and there is a pop-up. I feel these pop-ups are quite annoying to be honest. Anyways, so by default, the HTML buttons are presented in a style resembling the platform, like the user agent. So for example, if you are in the Mac OS or if you are in the Windows, you might see a little bit difference inside of the button styling, like the default button styling, but you can customize the button by using the CSS. Okay, so the platform the user agent runs on, but you can change the button's appearance with CSS. And as you can see here, basically inside of this particular example, they are heavily customizing this particular button. Okay, so if I just do something like this, comment out everything, as you can see, this button and our button looks quite similar, right? All right, so this is how we can use the buttons. Okay, now here, one thing which I want to show it to you is that there is an attribute. So there are some of the attributes, something like autofocus, like if you want to automatically focus on to a button or something like that, command, and so on and so forth. And as you can see, there is a disabled attribute as well, which we will see. Now here, let's go a little bit more here. As you can see, this is the main attribute which I want to show. So this is the type attribute. So buttons can have different types. By default, it is the submit button, but then you can make the type to button or reset or something like that. Okay, so let's do that. So here I will add the type, and here, as you can see, we have three types of button. So button, reset, or submit. Let's do submit here. Okay, all right. So this is how we can create the button basically, right? And now, for example, you want to disable this button. So how we can do that? We can do that by the disabled attribute. So disabled. Okay, and now you might be thinking like, hey, we are not doing something like disabled equals to or something like that. Okay, we are not doing that. We are just adding disabled. So this is a Boolean attribute. Okay, so basically if it is present, okay, if it is present, so that means, hey, disabled is true, and now our button is disabled. Okay, or if I just get rid of this disabled attribute, now as you can see, our button is now once again enabled. So this is the Boolean attribute. So we can have many sort of Boolean attributes as well. Okay, all right. Awesome. So now we have created our own button by using the button element, but we can create another button by using the input element as well. So input, hit enter, and inside of the type we have to write submit. And here if I just save that, now as you can see we are having this submit button. Okay, so by using the input element as well we can create a button, but this method I do not like that, because I like to be explicit with my elements, and that is why I do not like this approach, like to create the submit button by using the inputs. So now as you can see here it is saying submit. So if we want to change that particular text, basically if I just want to make a login button, so how I can do that? I can do that by using another attribute called value. Okay, and here inside of the value I have to put the value which I want to show inside of the button. Okay, so log in, something like that. If I just do that, as you can see now it is saying login. Okay, so here inside of the MDN as well, as you can see input type submit, and there is an example as well. Okay, so input type submit, value send request, so it is saying send request. Okay, all right, so in that way we can create buttons as well. So whenever we want to create a button, I specifically use the button element, and I will recommend you to use the button element as well. Okay, all right, so this is the button element in HTML.